one of those. I don't know whose it was, but I saw it a few years ago, and I think it was just late at night, and I was a little creeped out anyway, and I live by myself, and they were suggesting what they did is they overlaid two maps, one of missing persons and one of the national parks, and the cave systems particularly.
Yeah,
I'd seen that movie, The Descent, so I have that little thing in the back of my head, and I'm like, my heart starts beating a little bit faster. I'm like, I think there's something to this. God damn, those maps just line the fuck up. Like this isn't correlation, and this they line up. Those dots are on top of each other. And then I was like, well, yeah, of course. There's assholes are wandering in a park next to a cave. Of course they go missing. Like they're out in the middle of nowhere next to a cave.
Sometimes they go there to go spelunking.
Yeah,
those ones when somebody goes missing spelunking, that's not exactly a mystery. It's very obvious.
I've seen that. I've seen that exact map where it shows missing people and then the caves. Yeah, people are getting lost in caves.
Dude, it's scary.
And we got a ton of caves.
We get a lot of them. Dude, out in Texas, I'm glad. Obviously, I'm glad you got the map. Out in Texas, I saw so many cool caves. I saw 2 cool caves. I say so many. They were so cool to go into, though.
You could have kept that. I would have bought so many.
I saw 2. And then in Tennessee, have you guys ever done one of those cave tours? Like they got a couple in Tennessee.
I did one in Pennsylvania, the Crystal Cavern, something like that.
Crystal Caverns.
There's one in Tennessee that's really nice. Maybe this is like every cave everywhere. They do the same bit, but they've got some like cool lighting in there, but then they turn it all off so you get to experience pitch black. And it is otherworldly black. It reminds me of that substance that's like completely black and doesn't reflect any light. There's zero light when you're in a cave. And they turn the lights back on and you're like, man, you were get lost in here. It's not that kind of dark, like in the middle of the night where you can fumble your way through a little bit. No, I see shapes and shadows a little. It's just, you don't have eyes anymore. It's so dark.
There's no light.
Dude,
very unsettling.
I saw caves in the Dominican Republic, and that's kind of cool because there's nobody in charge of the caves, right? I think the Crystal Caverns or wherever it is I went, like there were velvet ropes involved. There were places you couldn't go, as you mentioned, there are lights. In the Dominican Republic, it's like, can we like climb on the stalactites? And they're like, yeah, fucking everybody does.
Dude, I won't say exact. So here's what happened. We were in this cave. And I thought of it as a really cool experience to be allowed in this cave. And those stalactites and whatever they're called, the ones that come down and the ones that go up, they're down there. And there's a little ecosystem. And I know that whole thing about like just touching one like stunts its growth 100 years or something, because it's like taking the calcium out of the drip drop water and slowly layer up.
8 inches were broken off. I'm sure there's a millennia missing.
The one we're in, though, pristine. And someone, who knows who, was just like, hey, can I have this? Ka-kunk! And like broke this. And I was just like, and the guy was just like, yeah, man, that's yours. And I was just like, I won't be taking anything from here because that's one of the most awful things I've ever seen. I was tiptoeing around in here trying not to kill the crickets.
Oh yeah, and that guy's like stealing animals from the zoo.
I couldn't believe he broke it off. But there were those scorpions that glow in the dark and like really disgusting meal. The ground in there is like, it must be the most fertile shit ever because it's just like dead crickets for all of eternity. It's just this brown loose stuff that's full of like worms wiggling around. It's gross in there and it's hard to get in, but it was really cool experience. The ones in Tennessee were, like you said, like lights and ropes, but sounds like you go to the Dominican, things are a little looser. Am I allowed to go there? Am I allowed to go to the DR?
I hope so.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Because I'm a felon.
Yeah, but does that mean you can't travel outside of the country?
I think the Dominican Republic.
Wait, really?
To like dozens of countries, they won't have me.
Wow, I did not know that.
Like most of the heavy hitters, like think of a country you'd like to go to. Name one, quick.
Australia.
Ireland.
Australia will let me. Ireland won't.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that Australia would let you. It would be a little hypocritical if they didn't.
It's part of their heritage, right?
Yep.
I like Kyle's knowledge on this.
By flying or on a cruise.
Australia,
he's got a list somewhere that he's just like crossing off where he can.
Yeah. So there's certain places I cannot go to, and there's certain places I can. I'm wondering if one of my felonies just rolled.